Good morning. Heart, cat's gonna make a mess. Hey, good morning. It's 5 a.m. Mester Scrum. Hope you're doing well. Looks like our screen is kind of bad again. Hopefully, I can make it a little bit better. Let's see. Does that work better? Yeah, it's a little better. And you probably just freaked out. Anyway, episode 196 of the 5 a.m. Mester Scrum Show, and we are live. So it is live, so stuff happens. Do this until we hit that live button. You never know. And we talk about Scrum and Agile in a tactical and practical way. And I'm Greg Mester, Scrum Master and Agile Coach, and I hope you're doing well. After SuperBowl, for those overseas, big game. I think everybody hears about it. And we eat way too much and watch too much TV and spend up way too late, which was my problem. Why we are doing this show at 8:47 in the morning and not during the 5 o'clock hour as normal, because I have to say, I found something that the invest principle in Agile does not apply to, and it's called, you invest, you make things small, you make it testable, you can negotiate. Well, on SuperBowl, when we have all these different foods out there, maybe I applied the test since the keep it small and simple and testable principle too much and tried every little piece of food there was, and yeah, it was I ate a little too much yesterday. So today is a recovery day. So yeah, invest principle. So I set out debates the other day about applying Agile to different things that aren't just Scrum or applying Scrum and Agile to things that aren't just software, which I truly do believe. However, it doesn't apply to eating food at a Super Bowl party. No, too much food, too much drink, too much whatever, especially when you don't eat all that stuff normally. So the event, I found something that Scrum does not apply to. It does not apply to going to Super Bowl parties. Doesn't work. Anyway, so there you go. That's the one thing I admit it doesn't apply to. Just going to keep this short and brief. It is Monday, and still I had to go to work, and already did a couple daily Scrum meetings that I attended, and I had to get back in there and do more work. So I'm taking a break in between. One of the things we talk about in Scrum and Agile is cost and to the customer and everything. There is a danger out there where these teams are so far removed from the actual revenue generating perspective. Like if you were building something and you were delivering something to the customer, it'd be really easy. The most simplest way to figure out your cost is to say, what you really should be looking at is delivering code, delivering product, delivering something for the customer that your company can make revenue on. It's the simplest math. It's the simplest way to think about it. So if you deliver stuff, you get paid, you make money, you keep delivering. And your costs are what it costs to have your team. And it's very simple. Are we making revenue on the other side, selling more widgets? That outweigh, and we're making a profit that outweigh the cost of the team and the group that's building that. It's very simple math. However, the problem is so many teams are so far removed from the revenue generating point, and they don't even know what the revenue generating area is. So that if you make changes, improvement in the product, you're so far away from the revenue to see what it is. Then what happens is people start playing these games about cost per point and cost for team and cost this and how much does it cost and give me estimates. You don't need all that stuff if your team is closer to the actual revenue generating point, because it's not about costing, because it's about getting it done and generating revenue from what you did pretty rapidly in succession. So when we build these large organizations and they're so far removed, they start asking those questions about cost per point and everything. And it's a slippery slope, because then what will happen, they'll start figuring out how much it costs per team. People will start cherry picking teams based on their cost. Problem is they'll try to get the cheaper team, which get cheaper team, maybe they're not as good developers, because they're not as seasoned or as diverse, maybe. A diverse team that has experience, even new and old, and from different areas, different cultures. It's a little more expensive than the little simple little cheap team where a bunch of kids got out of college, but they don't know what the thing is, and you get what you get, right? So there is a little bit of that where they start shopping for teams based on cost. The other thing is trying to go from a whole organization and apply all the costs and the taxes and all that stuff to an individual team to keep them going. It's kind of, how do you do that? It's like, is it fair for the team to support a research group and they don't get to do any of the research? I don't know. It's one of those questions that comes down to. And I've seen it where they used to apply costs of what we were doing, admin overhead from another thing, and then they stopped buying the production, and the production costs shot up, and everybody freaked out because they realized they were like, when we were selling, I'm just going to say, let's say cars, thousands of cars, and all of a sudden that one car, they didn't buy thousands anymore, they bought a couple hundred. However, the admin costs were still the same. Therefore, the cost per car went up, which got everybody's attention. And it wasn't making anybody happy because they forgot, we're still applying the whole overhead cost structure to what it was, $1,000 per car or 1,000 cars. And now we're only building a couple hundred cars. So now our costs go up. So you have to be careful of that. But I just want to, we will talk more about it later. I just want to warn everybody, watch out, because when you're so far removed from the revenue generating side of the business, and people want to make changes, but they don't tell you, well, are we making, is this part of making a $10 million program that we're making $10 million of revenue, more profits and everything? Then what are we worried about the cost? We just want to get it done so we can make that revenue because it just makes sense. First, don't have any idea what kind of revenue in, but I got a budget that I'm given. I got a $100,000 budget, and I need to know what it's going to cost. There's right ways of doing it, and maybe we'll do a couple shows and I'll really lay that out. But I just want to give a warning to everybody. New year, everybody's trying to figure out their costs and their rates, right? And trying to budget how much time they have. I mean, you just started the new year, and they're trying to project how much work they have for the rest of the year. And it's coming, right? So there's a way to do it. I probably should have to write it down, how to do it, and how to do, you could do everything from earned value management to anything. But that's all I'm going to talk about today. I'm going to keep it simple. Hope everybody's doing well after Super Bowl and did good on your pools or whatever, and that you have a great day. And with that, we're going to make this simple. Again, it's just warning you on the costing and try to analyze that as we get further and further away from the revenue. We're actually making revenue, selling a product to where they are. I will do a couple episodes on the best way to do it. It's the wrong way, but if you had to, I'm going to try to get you the best way, because you have to be careful because people can start playing games. But that, I'm going to say, happy scrumming. It's Monday. Hope everybody does well, and you'll do well. All right, take care. Bye. See ya.